North Korea wants to take over South Korea and will threaten using nuclear weapons to do so. So when we say to take over, it means to take control of. One country can take over another country, and we also use it in business. So if one company buys 51% or more of another company, we call it a takeover. So it means to gain control over someone or something. Although North Korea has nuclear weapons, the chances of a nuclear war are very slim. North Korea only has nuclear weapons as an insurance policy to maintain their sovereignty. So I have two things here. I said the chance of nuclear war are very slim. So, you can say the chances are very high, the odds of something happening over 70%. You could also say the chances are very low of something happening, like the chances it's going to rain today are very low, maybe under 30 or 20%. But when we say the chances are very slim, that is a very low percentage. I would say maybe from 10% and below that something's going to happen. So is it going to rain today? No, chances are very slim, means it's not going to happen, or the chances are very, very small. Next, I said that North Korea only has nuclear weapons as an insurance policy to maintain their sovereignty. So sovereignty is when you have kind of full control over your own nation. You've supported yourself with the military and the government. You don't need any outside help. But when we talk about an insurance policy, everyone has a car insurance policy or a life insurance policy. But an insurance policy is something someone has to kind of hold power against something or to have safety against something. So North Korea holds nuclear weapons and as an insurance. So if anything bad happens, they can release those nuclear weapons and protect themselves. So that's another way of using the word insurance. There won't be an end to North Korea's nuclear program. Over time, the range of missiles will become greater and the yield of their bombs will become more powerful. So I said the range of their missiles, that's how far they can go, will become greater. And the yield of their bombs will become more powerful. So when talking about explosives or bombs, we say, what is the yield? And the yield is usually measured in kilotons and megatons. Back in 2006, North Korea launched or set off an estimated 6 kiloton bomb. But most recently in 2013, that kiloton yield was 10. So their recent bomb had a yield of 10 kilotons. North Korea will halt its nuclear weapons program as long as a peace treaty is signed, and the United States will accept North Korea as a sovereign nation. So I mentioned that North Korea will halt its nuclear weapons program. So to halt means to stop. So what this sentence is saying is if a peace treaty is signed to end the Korean War officially, North Korea said it will stop developing its nuclear weapons. Some say that we can allow North Korea to keep its current stockpile of weapons, but we need to completely denuclearize the country and put constant pressure on North Korea to stop its nuclear program. So I said at first, we need to allow North Korea to keep its current stockpile of weapons. So we use this word if a person or a group of people or a country has a lot of guns, artillery, or nuclear weapons, we call it a stockpile, also known as an arsenal. So when you stockpile, you keep piling up weapons. So stockpile of weapons. So currently, North Korea has an estimated 9 to 11 stockpile of nuclear weapons. And then I said, we need to completely denuclearize the country. So to denuclearize means to take away its capability of nuclear weapons and maybe even nuclear power. And then they said to put constant pressure on North Korea to stop. So constant pressure can mean a lot of things. It can mean diplomatically, we can denounce them publicly, and we can also put economic sanctions. So if we keep up economic sanctions, we're putting constant pressure. It can also be something simple as, if you're single and your parents say, you need to get married, every year or every holiday, they're putting constant pressure on you. So it can be verbal or it could be symbolic or physical. If someone wants you to do something, they will put constant pressure on you. Instant denuclearization of North Korea would be a bridge too far. The process needs to be done step by step. That first step needs to start with dialogue. So the one thing I want to say here is a bridge too far. A bridge too far refers to a book that then it was made into a movie. And it was about a World War II battle called Operation Market Garden. It was one of the worst military disasters in human history. I don't want to get too much into the battle, but what happened was the Allies had to take over about 4 large bridges and about 3 small bridges in Holland. And if one of those bridges failed to be taken over, the entire battle would have been a failure. So they had to take over these 7 bridges, and a lot of things went wrong during the battle, and they were only able to take 6 bridges. So whenever you have a very complicated plan or things in life get too complicated, we say that might be a bridge too far, referring to this military disaster. So, if we ask like, hey, look, we want instant denuclearization right now. And if we demand it, that plan might be a little complicated. We won't be able to reach our final goal if we demand it. So what we're saying is we have to start with dialogue and then proceed step by step and possibly get denuclearization in the future. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.